Are you recording now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm recording. Go for it, pal.
Hi guys, so I'm Dan Aldridge. I'm Senior Sales Coordinator in the business. I started 16 months ago when someone messaged me on Facebook and asked if I wanted to earn an extra £1,000 a month. And I was at a point in my life where I was just dissatisfied in my job and I was miserable and I was just living each month paycheck to paycheck. And I found myself in a place of just being fed up and bored. I was fed up of living for the weekends. I was fed up of going out on a Saturday night and just drowning my sorrows away. And I felt as if I didn't really have much purpose to my life. So when I went to the first event, I just seen the marketing plan. The event itself wasn't actually that great. It was when Romy was just getting started. I think that I was one of her first sort of true players that came through, as Alex Webb likes to call it. And I just seen the potential earnings and said yes. So I didn't know anything about it. I didn't have any skills. I was just a carpenter. I've never sold anything in my life before. I've never recruited and I've never taught before. So all of the skills that I've sort of picked up along the way is stuff that I've gone off my own back to learn. I went to the event, got signed up, and then basically I found myself mentors. So I went to my first event in Reading where I met a lot of the top earners, and Alex and Romy basically forced me in situations where I had to get to know them, which has massively paid off because I always find that if you surround yourself with successful people, you will then eventually become successful. So I started to study and monitor and sort of stalk them on Facebook a little bit and try to work out what they were doing because, don't get me wrong, Romy and Alex were great leaders, but when it comes to sort of the technical ins and outs, I kind of figured it all out for myself. So I basically studied the top earners, made notes, and I became a student of this profession. So this business, people, you can treat it as a hobby, but I say that if you have a hobby, you'll find that hobbies more than often cost you money instead of making money. So I call it a profession. I treat it like a business. I wake up each day as a business owner. I always think that the more you put in, the more you get out. So for me, now that I've gone full time, I've now really seen the benefits of the income. I'm going to start off with like my first top tip, really, simply because it's here beside me, is this. And this is mine and Harriet's vision board. It's actually just a giant scrapbook, basically. But in here is our goals. So on this page here is a picture of all the stuff that we want. All the stuff that we want from this business. A lot of it we've already ticked off, but also there's a lot of stuff on there that we're still due to get. So my first top tip for you guys would be to get a vision board. Start writing down not only long-term goals, like you want to be a millionaire and all the big stuff, like the yachts and the boats and the cars, etc. Put the short-term goals down because they're more achievable right now. So one of the things in here that I don't know if you've just seen, we want a carpet runner for our stairs. Like how weird is that? But you know, Harriet wanted it and it's something that we can get with our next paychecks. That can be another tick. And it's so satisfying ticking off your vision board. So my first tip would be to get a vision board and become a student to this profession. My next top tip would be, because there's a book right beside me, is get the knowledge, guys. There's books out there. Not only, I mean, this was like £8 to buy. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I've read many books in this business. They cost £6 to £8 each. And you know what? When I was trained to be an apprentice carpenter, I had to spend £50 a week on tools to get my toolkit together. So probably to learn all the skills and knowledge that I've gained to become good at this has cost me about £100 maximum. And that's on books, audio books, seminars, etc. So become a student to this business. The more you learn, the more you'll earn. The podcast that I've told Chris to get involved with, and I don't know if he's told you guys, is MLM Nation. I listen to this without fail every day. It's part of my morning routine. I listen to it whilst I'm getting ready, or as my routine's changed now, I listen to it on the way to hospital to visit Harriet. So every morning by the time I get to see Harriet in hospital, I am pumped and I'm like, right, I need to get to work. I give her a quick kiss, I get set up and I get to work and work beside her and I tell her about what I've learned this morning. So yeah, that MLM Nation podcast is amazing. It's actually Emma Snedden who recommended it to me. So if she's doing it, then, you know, if it works for her, it's going to work for us. So let me just get this thing back on there. When it comes to sort of the educational side of things, I'm a great believer in self-development. You don't earn £1 million for just doing the business. You earn £1 million for the person you become. So when I was a broke carpenter with a broke person's mindset and poor standards in life, I wasn't allowed to be successful in this business. I had to become someone and do things I've never done before, to have things I've never had before. So when people ask you guys eventually, when you get some success, to do training calls for other people, it might be uncomfortable, you might be nervous, and you might think, oh my God, like, why should they listen to me? But if you can really believe in yourself and have the confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to give it all it's got, and have that absolute self-certainty and belief in yourself, you can make this happen. So self-development is massive. Not only do you need to learn, but you need to work on yourself, basically. The next thing that sort of me and Bob Burdick were talking about yesterday, he was a carpenter 26 years ago. He joined his business, and he's very what's the word? Where you methodical. Sorry, thank you. He's very methodical in the way he does things. So when you build a house, right, you lay the foundations first, and then you start placing the bricks upon the house, and then eventually you put the roof on, and then the windows and the doors. And there's a method to building a house. So when it comes to building this business, you need to have your business planned out before you get started. You can't just go placing bricks around on no foundations, because the house will fall down. So I would say if you're willing and you're looking to build a huge financially stable business, you need to have a huge foundation. If you're looking to build a small business, you want a small foundation. So that's why it's so important that you get your hands dirty, because you're going to be in the labor part of the business. Like, this is what I call, we're all in building mode right now. I'm still in building mode. Every day I'm building. John Holloway and the top earners, they're in the sort of tweak mode. Their structures are up and they're going. All they're doing is sort of adjusting a few here and there. But what we're doing is we're trying to recruit as many team members as we can, and we're trying to sell as many products as we can to build our client base and build our team base. So what I would say is, to get to STD, you need 3 downlines, okay? But why not go for 5 or 8? Because that's the foundations of your business. And Bob Burdick was telling me, if you have 5 generations wide and 5 generations deep, and that duplicates, so 5 get 5 get 5 get 5, if you have that structure and all of your team members don't even place an order from their gold packages alone, you're going to earn £20,000 a month. And that's from you getting 5 wide and 5 deep. Now, the interesting, go 1 more wide. If you get 6 wide, 6 deep, your check then becomes £38,000 a month. That's almost double the amount, and all you've done is got 1 more. So I would say for you guys, if you're out there and you've got 1 team member, 2 team members, 3 team members, get 8, because it will pay off massively. So I did a Zoom call last night with Bob, and I literally got on my live news feed directly to my team straight after the call. I said, look guys, I've realised now for the last 16 months, I've been working probably 75% of my potential. And I want to become rich and successful and produce a life for my family that I never had when I was growing up. I want to be able to let them have time and financial freedom. So if you want to build a future for yourselves and your family, then you've got to be willing to sacrifice the next few months and years of your life to have a life that you've never had before and provide for the people that you want to help in your life. I don't know what your why is, but that's a massive thing as well. Your why needs to be something that pulls you through the bad times, because there will be days where you're going to want to quit. There will be days where your team are slacking. There will be days where you can't get a sale. But if your why is strong enough, then you will never, ever, ever quit, because that's the only way you can fail, is to quit. So when it comes to building your team members, I'm going to do what I do now, because I'm not saying that I'm better than you guys. All I've done is that I've done it longer, so I've just got more experience than you. So the only way you can fail is to not participate and take an action. So these are my 3 top tips to finding team members. And at the end of the day, finding team members is how you're going to make big money in this business. So number 1, this is a little tip that I do every day. you need to, well, obviously you need to get as many Facebook friends as possible. I say that between you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you on the call, the first 1 to 5,000 friends wins. So do a competition of who can get 5,000 friends the quickest. Then every day on Facebook, you get a little notification saying it's Chris Tozand and 12 others' birthday today, right? You will get that. Send each one of those people a private message saying, oh, hey, Chris, since your birthday, hope you have an amazing day today. I had a quick stalk of your profile. Hope you don't mind. I like what you're doing. Have a great day. Give someone a compliment. Wish them happy birthday. Do you know what you're doing every single day? Is you're running down a corridor, opening loads and loads of doors to people that you've never talked to before. And guess what? Conversations start. And that's a great way of breaking the ice with complete strangers. So that's what I do every day without fail. And that's what I tell my team. Wish people happy birthday. They don't all get back to you, but a lot of them do, and it's created a lot of what I call cold call relationships. When it comes to finding prospects and team members, also my top tip number 2 would be to subconsciously make people your friends. Okay, so this is something that I do also, that people who don't know me, without knowing, become my friends by what I do on their Facebook accounts. Okay, so say for example, Chris was my friend on Facebook, but I'd never spoken to him before, and I wanted him in my team. What I would do is I'd write his name down on my list of who I want, so your potentials list, and every day for the next 3 or 4 days, I would interact with his profile. I'd like his stuff, I'd comment, I'd give him little sort of door openers, and then eventually, once he starts seeing, oh, Dan Aldridge has liked this, Dan Aldridge has commented on this, he's going to think, who is this Dan Aldridge guy? He's going to begin to like me, and then eventually, by the time I do eventually then send him a private message, we've already got some sort of rapport built, which will then strike a conversation of, are you happy with your health? Are you happy with your income? 80% of the people in the world aren't, so you've either got the opportunity for the business or the opportunity for a goal plan with that person. It's not for everyone, this business, so the more no's you get, the better. The more no's you get, which means the more you're working, basically. I had a no 2 minutes before this phone call, and I loved it because it means I'm closer to a yes. My third top tip when it comes to finding team members is basically to treat your Facebook profile as a professional blog. I spent the last few days with Olivia Measures, and what I've noticed from her is she is a presidential marketing director because of the attention to detail and thought that goes into every single post she does. There's no, I better quick to status because I haven't done one in a while. Every single status has to be quality. So think of the image. So when you go on your phone and you're scrolling through Facebook, 80% of your screen needs to be an image, and then the top 20 needs to be text, because that's the most aesthetically pleasing to the human eye. Oh, sorry guys. Are you sure? The doctors are in the room. Yeah, 80% image, 20% text, and you want to try and get it as colourful and as aesthetically pleasing to the human eye as possible. Think about what your wording is, and think about the emojis you're going to use as well. It sounds silly, but if you're a guy, keep it quite masculine. If you're a girl, you can go all out. And then you want to sell yourself, because in the end of the day, people don't buy from you; they buy you. So you want to speak from the heart when it comes to this. You want to speak. You want to talk about what the business has done for you and what the products have done for you, and you want each status to be a mini story, because facts don't sell and stories do. Yeah, so that's basically my top 3 tips: birthdays, subconscious rapport, and treating your Facebook profile like it is a professional bio. Has anyone got any questions quickly on any particular topics you want to talk about? Just unmute yourself.
Raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Buzzing.
There's no questions?
No, not at the moment, mate. That was absolutely superb advice, though.
Want me to keep going?
Yeah.
I don't think I've got any questions. For once, I can shut up. I've had quite a tiring day, mine. So maybe my brain's not engaged, but I'm sure that if I do think of anything, I will shoot you a message. But that's superb advice there. Thanks, Dan.
No problem. I would say, like, also just to sort of expand on that, is you must work on yourselves every day. Like, personal development is absolutely key. It's non-negotiable. Like, if you want to be successful, you have to become the person that you want to be. And if you start acting that way, it will happen. I mean, a few months ago, I wouldn't be doing this. I couldn't have done it, but I've just worked on myself so much that the belief in me is that, you know what, I can do this. So self-development is key, and events. Like, you cannot stress events enough. I would not be where I am if I didn't go to my first event. And because I thought Juice Plus was like a few randomers that were like desperate for extra money on the side, probably like broke carpenters like myself who didn't really know what they were doing. And I went to my first event, which was Reading. It wasn't even a big event. There was about 1,000 people. No, not even that. It's probably about, how much? I was only 300 there. I walked into that event and I was like, oh my God, like, there's loads of people doing this. And then I met the top earners, and I was like, from that point, I was in love with this business. And that's what changed my mindset. If I probably didn't go to that first event, I probably wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have stuck at it because I wouldn't have seen the potential in this business. You need to see it to believe it, because, you know, like, if you don't know, then you'll just eventually quit. And, you know, that's a way, that's a lot. I've seen a lot of team members come and go that way. I mean, they haven't committed to the business, they haven't committed to the events, they haven't committed to themselves. And then they've eventually gone back to their 9-to-5 jobs, and now they're probably at home watching Coronation Street, looking forward to the weekend. And then, you know, the ones who look forward to the weekend are the ones that look forward to retiring. And the ones that look forward to retiring are looking forward to dying. And that's not one way I want to live my life. So I want to live my life with purpose, and I want to live my life with passion. And I believe this business is a vehicle to get there.
Okay, mate. So basically, commitment, passion, and really believing in yourself and the business.
Events, working on yourself, and work ethic. That's Olivia Measures has taught me that this weekend. 5 a.m. starts, 11 o'clock sleep. It sounds insane, but since I've been doing that, I've got a goal plan every day for the last 3 days, and I've got another one to put through in a minute. And that's all down to consistency, persistency, and being as professional as I can. If you scroll back on my Facebook last week, the quality of my posts have changed 100% since I've spent time with Olivia. Like, each image, each filter, each emoji, each word I thought about, and that's just the attention to detail again. So yeah, it's all learnable. Don't expect to be rich overnight. I mean, unless you are Olivia, she's got L&D in 4 months, which is insane. But it's there. It's there for the taking. So I've set a target for my team who can bring 5 new frontline for Bournemouth. And do you know what? You guys have zero excuses because it's on your doorstep down in Bournemouth. So if any of you aren't there, then I'm going to go and knock on your house and drag you up and bring you there myself.
Cool, mate.
Yeah, I think that's about it. How long have I been? So I don't want to do a 10-minute Zoom call.
It's fine, mate. Been about 15 minutes, I'd say, by the time we all got started.
Cool. As well.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
when you approach people that you don't even know, how do you go about talking to them and just random conversation? I mean, I know Romy was saying about sort of just asking about their job and how long they work there and things like that. But have you got any other tips on how you talk to people?
Yeah, so the beauty of Facebook is that it's all there in front of you. Like with Twitter or Instagram, you can't really see what a person's into, but with Facebook, you can see their profiles, you can see what their hobbies are, you can see what their friends are like, you can see what they do at the weekend. So you can literally, before you start a conversation, you've got all the information there. The best way to make someone like you is to give them a compliment. That's what I always start with. I always start with something like, I love your profile, or if they've got something that I can relate to, I'm like, I do mountain biking or whatever too. And then it creates an instant bond, you got something in common. And then it's just a case of being as relaxed and informal as possible, but of digging down to find the problems, because at the end of the day, we've got a solution for health and wealth. And a lot of people, have got problems in those areas. I mean, I did when I first started. When I got that message saying go on an extra £1,000 a month, for me it was a no-brainer. So it's just a case of finding the right people. You're going to get a lot of no's, but as Jim Rohn says, if you share this opportunity with enough people, it will fall on the right people. So you just got to be out there planting your seeds, watering your crops every single day, and eventually they will come through. It's just a case of working through the numbers and finding the right people.
Okay. And also, sorry, just quickly, who like really inspires you? I mean, I know a lot of people probably do, but who, if you're feeling down or anything wrong, who is the one person that you like look up on YouTube or something to guarantee you'll get like inspiration?
Yeah, Les Brown is massive for me, and he is just a motivational speaker when I want general motivation. But in terms of inspiration, I just can't stop thinking of the John Holowati quote where he says, I might not be the smartest guy in the business, but I'll work harder than anyone, and hard work beats talent. So like, that's what I'm trying to do. Like I keep saying to Alex Webb, like, tell me how many hours a day John works and I'm going to do one more hour than him. Because that's how much I want this business to work, and that's how like passionate I am about it. So yeah, John Holowati inspires me massively. People like Emma Snedden, I watch a lot of her team trainings and Zoom calls because she simplifies things really well and puts it into a very understanding way when it comes to explaining new stuff to people. Okay. You have to have your own personal mentors. If you haven't found someone yet that you can look up to and go to for advice, then find someone.
Yeah.
Bob Burdick, a few days ago, didn't know who I am. And now I've literally made him be my mentor. I've just messaged him and hounded him. And I know that in Bournemouth in October, I'll be able to go up to him and talk to him as a friend. And then a year's time, hopefully I'll be on Club 39 table having dinner with him. So if you want it bad enough, you can attract those sort of people into your life, and eventually you can become one of them. So yeah, my advice is come to Bournemouth, watch the people speaking, and find and assign yourself those mentors. Make them come into your life, and they will, because everybody wants to help everybody in business.
I'd agree with that. Obviously, like myself and Rick, obviously he came in and he's been a big mentor for me, and obviously you become friendly, like you say. But then obviously like them all, like John Holowati will message us. Obviously Alex Webb is like a mentor to everybody. But like when you start really playing, he'll ring you up and he will be a proper mentor to you. When you start playing, that's when he comes in the field.
Yeah, make that your goal. Make that your goal, guys. Work so hard that Alex Webb recognises you, and he will sign himself to you. I never asked for Alex to give me the support he does, but he's recognised how hard I work and he supports everything I do, which it feels great. You know, it's such a great feeling when Alex Webb is ringing you every day and saying how great you're doing. That's actually almost worth the money as well. Like the support and friendship that I've got now with him, you can see why he's so successful and why he's produced millionaires like John and Katie Ravey and Emma Karen and stuff. And he's helped all those guys to the top. So if you can attract that guy into your life, then you'll be successful.
That's what I mean. When I was going for SC, obviously when I was like sort of dealer position, I didn't really hear from him until within like the second month of getting back to it. When I went STD, that was it. On the phone every other day. You can do it. Yeah. You can do it. Let me know what you want. Put on an event. I'll come down. I'll pay you the money for the event. Just whatever. Literally every other day. And then it was like every day, twice a day. He was ringing me up. Like Jason, when you went DD, he literally rang me up then and he was like, right, who have you got? I was like, Rachel's like this close, Jason's this close. He was like, right, get him there. And he's like, as soon as you've done it, let me know. Then literally you put an order through and I messaged him and he rang me like, well done. Straight away I had like 4 phone calls with him in the space of like 3 hours or something. She was like, right, do this. And I was like, right, done. And then he was like, do this. And it was literally every single time. And then Dan, like he rang me and you didn't eat before he went to Marbella just to say, keep it ticking. Like if you need me, I'm here for a week, that sort of thing. Yeah. And like, he will go down line. Like it doesn't matter where you are in his business, he will go down, even if you're out of the pay line 6, 7, 8 gen, because he will work with the workers. So that's what you really want to attract him, like Dan said.
Okay.
But yeah, just find somebody that you can relate to, and then just get them to mentor you.
Yeah. Eventually you can do that with your team. I mean, I work with my workers now, and you want to duplicate down because there's a lot of people in this business that come in and do 20, 30%. Which is okay because they get the odd capsule order, but you want to work with the people that are going to get to NMD because you find 5 NMDs and that'll get you to PMD, and that's the goal.
Exactly. Sweet. Any other questions, guys, for Dan before I ask him a couple?
No.
No? Okay, sweet. Right, Dan, I got a couple that I think will help these guys. So obviously it's about being consistent. So you were stuck at SC for a little while, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long were you stuck there for, would you say?
6 months.
6 months? Yeah. So obviously I was stuck at SDD for a year as well. What made the change to then suddenly kick the business back into gear and go to SSC?
I had no option. I
Burnt your bridges, didn't you?
I burnt my bridges, and if I didn't reconfirm SC, I wouldn't have got the rest of my bonus, and I wouldn't have been able to pay my mortgage. So when you get, when you have things like that, you have no choice but to make it happen. It probably wasn't sensible, but it's one of the best things I've ever done because, as this book says, I felt the fear and I did it anyway because I knew that I wanted this business so bad that I knew if I put my mind to it, I could make it work, and I have. So it goes to show, guys, if you want anything bad enough, you can make it happen. So yeah, that's how I did it. I put myself in a situation where I had no option.
So what was that then? You stuck to a DMO every day, like consistent, was it?
Yeah, I worked like a social media. I said this to Olivia the other day. I said I worked like a social media machine. From the minute I woke up, from the minute I went to bed, I would post, and then I'd put that same post on Twitter, and then that same post on Instagram. Go through, add loads of people, go through messages of people. 2 hours later, another status on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, adding, messaging. 2 hours later, and do you know what? 90-day game plan from January, February, March got me to SSC from doing that DMO. So it sounds a bit of hard work, but you're building the foundations of a business that will change your life, so it's 100% worth it. And I didn't class that as hard work. I class getting up at 6 o'clock, putting steel toe caps on and going working on a building site hard work, climb up and down ladders with like 2x4 timbers on my shoulders. That's hard. Like sitting on your phone in your pajamas at home with a cat is not hard work. So it just goes to show, like, it's not hard work. You just got to do it. And if you want it bad enough, you can do it. And if you're having fun at the same time, then even better. That's a bonus. So yeah, that was my DMO. It was pretty strict, pretty mental. A lot of people I know wouldn't be able to stick to that, but you know, if you're hungry enough, you can make it happen.
Definitely.
So, sorry, Dan, would you message them straight away after they'd accepted your friend request, or would you leave it a couple of days, or how would you have done that?
If after they accept my friend request, I do the subconscious thing. So I'll interact with their page, but I won't message them until I feel the time's right.
Okay, right, that's good advice.
If they're liking and interacting with my page back, then that's a sign that they like what I'm doing, and that I just then drop them a message saying, thanks for the support on my page. Would you like some info on what I do? And then that opens another door.
Okay, mate.
The goal is to make them interact with you, because then that's attraction marketing instead of you going out cold calling. So yeah, the goal is to create such attractive Facebook posts that people come to you. And that's how I've got my last few goal plans, actually.
Okay, thank you, mate.
No worries. Sick, love that. Just another one. So I know, obviously, you're saying about adding people all the time, that sort of thing. So I know a lot of people in this group, I've sort of had a lot of questions of, well, where do I find people to add, that sort of thing. So, and I know when I spoke to you in the hospital, I got a few tips. Obviously, I've got my sort of groups I go in. So obviously, you have to kind of add yourself to groups and that. Can you just explain what kind of groups you look for, or what kind of process you do to find these new people, find these cold people, to then begin building relationships with them? So
homework to do after the Zoom call. Get a fresh blank piece of paper and, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Get a fresh blank piece of paper, draw a stick man, if you're shooting drawing like Chris, or draw a cartoon character of yourself, and then draw around you loads of bubbles of who are you? What are your hobbies and interests? What do you like? What do you do in your spare time? What would you do if you became rich? What do you want to do once you're rich? Who do you want to help? And draw basically a cartoon character with you and everything about you around you. Then find Facebook groups and pages of people that are interested in things that you're interested in. Because people don't buy the products, they don't buy the business, they buy you. So if you can find like-minded people to you, then you've already got something in common which opens doors again. So once you then have found out who you are, you then add people like you. Have you noticed that me and Harry have got a load of couples in our business? That's because we're a couple. Have you noticed that? Just trying to think of other people. Like, I go on my team, Gemma has got a motocross riding boyfriend. She's got like 3 or 4 motocross riders in her team. And that's all because of people who she's attracted into her life. So once you found out who you are, go on the groups and pages and add people from there. It's okay adding random people, but it's the chances of them joining are less than if you find people that you've already got something in common with.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, like a lot of my people are like obviously students. So also like Phoebe, Patty. I've got other people who are sort of in. Hello. I've got a lot of people who are like obviously in that community because that's who I relate to. So when I say I do this part time, like while I'm at uni, like, and then I just share my story of how like the products actually helped me. I'm like, I was out drinking every night. I was like eating crap frozen food, and all students are like that. Like all students are like, yeah, actually that's me. Like, so when I showed them my before and after, I said, well, this is after 2 months of actually like having the shakes for breakfast, eating, changing what I eating, and then I managed to quit Waitrose. So I did this for my phone. Everybody's like, oh my God, that is my life. Like that is what I need. I need to be healthier and I need that bit of money. So that's why I can recruit quite a lot of students come in. And also I find it easier to recruit them because I can relate to them. Obviously I've got a couple of people like who I knew that will warm market like Rachel, Jason and that, but otherwise a lot of my cold is kind of students. So it's just who you relate to. So obviously if you're a mum, you're going to go for mums.
Yeah.
Like if you're a lad,
there's no 2 businesses the same, and that's what's cool about it. Everybody's done it their own sort of slight take on it. So there is a blueprint, there is a system, but you can make it your own, which is cool.
Definitely.
Okay, so basically just yourself in a sense. I think that's brilliant because you know you try and tailor off into different avenues, but actually just being honest and you know, especially with us, me, Kiyomi, Hannah, being in an office environment, you know, our diets before this this journey would have sucked. You know, we probably have had the occasional healthy meal. So maybe it's like you saying, Chris, in terms of you know, typical student lifestyle, typical office jockey lifestyle. You know,
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Thanks, guys.
No worries.
Sweet. Just one other thing that I wanted to hook up. So I got 2 more questions. So the first one is, when you were talking about personal development, obviously you were saying super, super important. Can you give us kind of the top couple of books or audios or things that you've even listened to, watched, downloaded that have helped you? Maybe your top 3 or 5, something like that people can go pick up on that then they can start working through. So obviously you mentioned MLM Nation. What other ones would you sort of, if people are like, right, I need somewhere to start, where's the best place to start with it?
The place to start, without a shadow of a doubt, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
What was that?
Book changed my life. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's
Like Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki. It's a purple book on Amazon. It teaches you how to make money work for you instead of you working for money.
Okay.
And it's basically what you should have been taught at school, but they don't teach you because the system and the government want us all to be employees working for the system. And what they should have taught, it's a book on how to get rich. And on page 73, it says, I advise all young people that want to become rich to join a network marketing company because the training and the philosophy and mindset that those companies provide will set you up for the rest of your life. And that's when I knew that joining Juice Plus was a good idea. And not only has it given me the certainty and belief in myself and Juice Plus, it's taught me how to use my money to generate more money. So now that I'm working from home and I have the time to invest my wages from Juice Plus, I've now got a couple streams of income, which is then eventually going to, I'm going to reinvest into other streams of income. So get that book. It's amazing. My second piece of personal development, which I would say
It's got to be.
has helped my mindset, is a real old school book. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself.
Yes.
It's a little book. but it's brilliant, and it's taught me how to think, how your thoughts lead to actions, which then lead to what you do and your choices you make, which will result in either success or failure in life. So in every single day, I mean, you're probably looking at me right now, and in the back of your head, you're thinking, oh, what should I have for tea later, subconsciously, or you're having some sort of self-talk in your head. But if you can get control of those self-talks and take charge of your mind, it's unbelievable, like how your life can change. Just down to the small things, like should I go, if I'm thirsty, should I go and get a bottle of water? Should I go and get a Coke? Like you'll tell yourself to get a bottle of water, because you know that if you have a Coke every day, 6 days a week, a month later you're going to be a stone heavier than if you chose water. So it's all about choices and controlling your mind, and basically setting yourself up for success.
Okay, Dan, and what page? I'm joking, obviously.
Read that whole book. It's good, and it's not too big. I never read books that are big because they're overwhelming.
You can get a lot of audios and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Which
and one of the where I learned a lot of strategies from is Eric Worre on YouTube.
There's network marketing pro videos.
You've got GoPro. You've got the GoPro book as well, and you've got the 45-second presentation, which is standard. But all the Eric Worre stuff is amazing. How to recruit people, how to invite to events, how to like ice break, how to meet new people, all things like that is all on YouTube for free.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of this stuff.
So I always like, when it comes to self-development, I always look up, I've always got my own little library of things, what I feel like. So if I feel like I need some motivation, it's Les Brown. If I feel like I want to learn some actual network marketing strategies, it's Eric Worre. If I feel like taking an hour out and chilling, I'll pick up an actual book and chill on the sofa. Like, that's cool, that's work. I mean, if you can have an hour on the sofa with a decent book and read 25, 30 pages, then that will benefit you for the rest of your life. I heard a phrase once that every book you read adds 1% to your chance of success. So if you can read 100 books, you're going to be 100% a new person than before you started reading at all. I find that quite cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Good way to think about it, isn't it?
Dan, sorry, mate. What YouTube videos do you say were good?
Eric Worre. So it's Eric, Worre. He's a bold dude.
The guy who wrote GoPro.
And he's class.
Okay, mate.
He's the one that I sent you the link about for the Richard Branson. He's the guy who's doing that one with him.
He's got an interview with John Holowati too on there.
Yeah, John Holowati's done one.
He on there, is he? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, literally that's what I mean. Like, once you know these people's names, so like Eric Worre, Robert Kiyosaki, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, just literally, you can just Google them and watch them all, because all of their stuff is like golden. We're just giving you specific titles that have helped us. But if you're ever like, well, I've listened to that one, but I quite like his stuff, just go through. On the suggested videos, they'll all be amazing. You'll end up on some stuff that you didn't even like mean to look at, but you'll get like a golden nugget from it that you'll be able to use all the time.
Sure.
Sick. And obviously, Dan, I tell all of these guys to try and watch Jim Rohn building your network marketing business.
Yeah, he's awesome.
You need to know it off by heart. You need to know it.
Dan, I mean, you know it pretty well, don't we?
It's ridiculous, mate.
When we were going to Cardiff, and we were just repeating it like as he said it, like. That's how you got to be.
Every sentence is spot on.
Yeah, every sentence is like a different like golden nugget in there.
I think the best one from that was you can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sail. That's my favourite one.
Because, you know, the amount of times where you're going to say, oh, I can't come to the event because I've got a flat tyre. Like, get another way to the event. Like, it's the choices you're making. Like, don't let... Shit happens to everyone, but it's the choices. It's what you do about what happens. And that's, you know, like, the month in January, my gran passed away. And instead of being depressed and down and upset, I used that as motivation to push me to SC and reconfirm as a distraction. So it was a tough month for me, but it was worth it. And I know my gran would have been proud. And that was a choice I made. So when someone gives me an excuse, I just don't take it. It's not an excuse. It's just they didn't want it bad enough.
My favourite line is that the birds are going to get some. The birds will get some. I said the birds will get some done. That's my favourite line.
Do you know what's happening today? The hot weather's going to get some of them as well.
The hot
People
weather.
got distracted and they're in the beer gardens, but we're not. We're building our business.
And then last quick question. So obviously we're starting to build team. We're starting to get a couple of people in. So when we start to get a team, what would you say really, really quickly are sort of like the top 3 things that you get people to do to start up a newbie? So you've got somebody in and you want to get them off to a really fast start. What would you say?
I got a training video for this on my Team XXY page. The top 3 things to do without fail when you start this business is 1, listen to the internet marketing business. And then I say, right, tell me when you've done that. Then half an hour later, they say, I've done it. I say, you can, because it's an hour and 10 long. And then I say, go and watch it properly, then come back to me. And then they can come back an hour and 10 minutes later and say, right, I've done that. And I say, right, now order your goal plan. Step 2, get on the goal plan. And step 3, make your list. And your list should have 3 columns, business, product, and both. B, P, and BP. A list of 50 names you want in the business, 50 names you think would want to use the products, and 50 names of people like me and you guys who want to join the business and get on the products. Then come back to me with your list and I'll show you how to reach out to those people.
And what would
That's
you say? And then when somebody goes to reach out to these people, what would be your...
You make contact with them and you ask them the questions and build rapport. But then you need to know those... Chris, tell your team those 4 questions that Susie Mitchell taught us the other day.
Yeah,
say to a new distributor. I think one of them is, how many hours are you willing to work in this business?
I've got them over there.
You can type these up from at the end. How many times a week would you like me to contact you? Because some people want to be contacted once a week, once every day. Hours, times.
Dan, I got them here.
What do you want from this business and why are you doing this? Because if you don't know those 4 pieces of information, you're either going to annoy them by contacting them too much, or they're going to fail because they have no reason why. And you guys should all know those questions yourself, and you guys should be telling Chris that so he knows how to work with you guys.
And that's something that I've recently learned, so I'm going to start implementing with all new people that I get in, because obviously we learned that sort of Saturday. So the questions were, what's the reason you wanted to join Juice Plus? How many hours are you going to commit? Which is also ties into how much do you want to earn. So obviously if they want to earn like flipping 40 million, then they're going to work all the bloody time. Yeah. And then how much contact do you want? Just so you can let them know. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Right. So I think that's all my questions covered as well.
I'm going to have to shoot, guys, because I think the doctors are going to come back in any second.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I reckon we're done, bro.
Last night I did a Zoom call with Bob Burdick, so it's on YouTube. If you want to check that out, if you type in on YouTube, Dan Aldridge and Bob Burdick XXY, it'll come up and you can watch it. Listen to it because it lit a fire under my ass, and that's how I got a goal plan today.
Bob's sick. So for those of you who don't know it, they've earned the most as a power couple, haven't they, Dan?
Yeah, they've earned over 26 million.
And when you hear their story, like, it's incredible. They came from like a caravan park to owning the flipping like land, like building houses and all sorts of stuff.
He was 4 months into the business, and he gave his mum his 4th paycheck, and it was 115,000.
Shit.
So that was built back in the day before Facebook and before mobile phones.
We listened to him at Birmingham. He spoke at Birmingham, didn't he? Him and his wife. Them and Jeff Roberti. By the way, if anybody wants to check out some of the inspiration of Jeff Roberti on YouTube, he's earned over 100 million in the business. He's top earner in the world.
Yeah.
Jeff who?
Jeff Roberti.
Roberti.
And Dan, I was sat in the sauna with him at Birmingham one night, him and John Hawaii.
That's a joke.
Yeah, I know. But, okay, sick. Right. Any other questions before Dan shoots off? No. Okay, good.
Cool. Cheers, guys, and thanks for getting me on. That's the first Zoom call I've been asked to speak as a guest, so it's an honour.
Mate, I got asked to speak on Rick and Christine's the other day.
Fair play, Fair play.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank Harriet for giving him away for a little bit. Thank you.
No worries. Have fun with it and smash it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yes. See you later.